Hello, everybody, and welcome to Save or Dice. We're here with everybody that should be here to play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition.
Yes! Oh, I thought it was going to be me. Me too.
Oh, shit. We're back with another episode. What's up, everybody? It's Harbinger, episode 8. We're back with some more shenanigans.
No regrets.
No regrets. We have our Dazzling Deviant as our Dungeon Master tonight, Cody Lewis from Taking 20. We have Dave Friant from Nerdarchy, Keeping It Nerdy, as Dr. Braso. We have the magnificent bastard that is Jim Davis from WebDM, and of course, Jonathan Pruitt, age 12, from WebDM today.
We time travel to Pruitt.
I never thought I would have a chance to actually play Dungeons & Dragons with Jim Parsons, but here we are.
There he is.
Kind of looks like a real halfling now.
Yes.
What's going on?
It's Roscoe. We actually brought in Roscoe for, you see a sword in the background.
The cosplay is impressive.
Right.
Yeah,
right here.
There you go. As myself, my name is Will Jones from Encounter Roleplay, and I'm a D&D sex icon. But we have some sponsors to read and talk out about today, and for losing our challenge at the beginning, that task goes to Jonathan Pruitt from WebDM.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Maybe it's fate. I don't know. I just made my first few maps in Dungeon Painter Studio that you can find over on pyromancer.com. I found it very intuitive. Didn't take long to figure out. Hey, got right to it. And also, of course, our tabletop of choice here for the online play is going to be Fantasy Grounds. And so hopefully we're going to see some neat little maps here that Cody made with Dungeon Painter Studio.
Might have a little fun planned for this evening.
A little something. I like the sound of that.
Something.
Excellent. Well, let's hand over to our Dazzling Deviant, Cody Lewis, to take us away into episode 8 of Save or Dice.
Real quick before we jump in, I just want to let you guys know that yes, I'm going to pitch our product because the Mistwalker is available. So if you guys follow me on YouTube, we don't have links down in this. Just go follow me on YouTube, check out the video, and it will take you right to it. For those of you guys who watched last season and have been eagerly awaiting that, it is available today.
Go check it out. Cody's dying for your feedback.
Yeah, something like that.
Or from
last time, not last week, last time on Saber Dice, the party was still traversing the depths of the Undercity of Permath. You guys had escaped the drow in a daring, just last second, everybody at the moment just jumped to it, and you guys managed to make your escape from your drow captors. But instead of pursuing on further, the party made a very intelligent and smart decision to retract and regroup back into Vaugrim. So with the aid of your new magical flying broom, the task was pretty easy, and soon you guys were face to face with the king and your known friend, Rothillian, who had decided to make himself present here from Dawncross and has decided to accompany you. Of course, we also got to meet a few additional fun characters in the form of Doris and Gregor. Gregor, not the King of Shadows, but Gregor, Grindlebrew's rival and foe. And it appears, at the behest of Roscoe and the rest of the party, that Gregor has also accompanied the party back down into the depths of Permath. Hopefully this time, understanding the terrain, understanding the dangers, that they would make their travels a little easier. And with the aid of Rothillian, the group traversed the now familiar Permath pretty easily. In fact, they did so without incident. When they arrived at the glowing purple light, which they had been told was a portal from their drow captors, that is where we will pick up with both Roscoe having traversed through the portal alongside Dr. Braso Huell. And Roscoe, I do believe as you entered into this portal, the sword that you were carrying had lost its dirty demeanor, its rusted and ordinary demeanor, though glowing, and now was a bright and beautiful aflame blade like it was the first time you guys encountered it. And the last thing you guys heard was a voice hollering out that they were expecting you. That is where we'll pick up. So Roscoe, you've just transversed into this other plane of existence, back into the Shadow Vale. And as you look around the room, you see a few glowing lights and a voice that says, "We have been expecting you." What do you do?
We had gone through together, right?
He's muted. Yes, Dr. Braso Hill, you are also on the side.
Okay.
Well,
Cousin, everywhere else they expect us. They always put out food. I don't see no food.
yeah, that is a good sign that they really weren't expecting us, but want to make it seem like they were. We didn't even expect to be here, so how could they be expecting us?
Very, very well put, cousin.
To take you to the Lich Lord.
Cousin,
Roscoe draws the sword out.
Yes.
And as you look over, you notice that these voices are coming from these little floating, glowing orbs in the room.
that's rather curious. The party lights are talking.
Oh, I don't like any of this. Did he say Lich?
I think they did.
That's what he said.
Oh, do you think he meant it?
Could be. You know, some ancient common, lich just means dead body. I heard that somewhere.
Or maybe, but that's also not good, I guess, if we're here to see a dead body.
What is it this Lich Lord wants with us?
That is something that you hold dear.
And as you look over, you guys can see a very calm, almost pale elf, half-elf-like undead creature. And you could tell it's undead from a pocket here on its flesh that has been kind of eaten away and is showing underneath. And it's talking in such a deep tone that it's kind of shocking as it kind of rings out a little bit, and almost like its vocal cords aren't working terribly well.
You might want to go see a cleric about that throat there, buddy.
Indeed. I would like to welcome you to Maz Nagrax.
How do you spell that? Sorry, I'd like to keep notes.
So, are you the Lich Lord?
Indeed I am.
So, can we get a full description of this guy? What does this guy look like, other than his face?
He is dressed and carrying himself finely. The robes that he's wearing don't have the appearance of decay. He's not carrying himself with raggedy bones and shambles of clothing. Instead, he is dressed in a soft red velvet lined with gold trim along the edges, and is carrying a large handed stick with this sort of grotesque hand on the end, holding a clear crystal. This is different in color than the huge green crystal hanging about his neck. This seems to be swirling about a little bit, almost as though it's flickering.
Cuz this guy looks almost as old as Rathilian here.
Yeah. Let's see.
So you've been waiting for us. What is it you want from us?
A bargain.
I love a bargain. I do. You know, down at the Dwarven markets, they got some real bargains on there, you know.
If you would, please accompany me.
And he turns and he walks out the door.
Well, I'm going to turn to Rathilian and be like, Rathilian, what do you think about this?
Indeed, it appears that we have found Maz Nagrax. There were rumors once of this city in existence, and to be here in its halls is both terrifying to me and quite the magnificent discovery.
Well, that very well may be, but cousins, we weren't looking for this Mazril Racco place, were we?
No. We were
No
just-
macro cities
so.
for us.
Not in particular, but if this is where the portal leads and this Tari substance is leaking out of the portal, then surely
You
this
guys
place is
look-
relevance, yeah?
As you guys look around the room, Huell, you don't see black tar here. You don't see black tar on the ground. This room looks fine, but it is still taking on that lackluster, dull appearance that you guys discovered in the Temple of the Blue Rose.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm gonna start following him, but I'm gonna I don't know, cause this one thing, at least this guy's treated us better than the drow.
Well,
That's
that's for
true.
certain.
He's a bit
Yeah.
creepy though. He does say he's a lich lord, or his lord is a lich or something, and that I hear is not a good thing.
That's what I hear too.
Well, now let's not rush to judgment. He could easily just be a disembodied spirit inhabiting a lifeless corpse. And Huell will follow on after Braso.
Not sure that's better.
Rothillian seems to be eager, and after you kind of make your move, he almost kind of cuts in front of you a little bit. Literally, he steps in front of you to follow along outside the door.
Yeah, like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my!
Like
I
with
don't know what I'll be getting into. It's pretty awful.
yeah, come draw.
Good
some
thing we
natural-
got Grindlebrew here. That's for sure.
You're still here? Oh, I thought you'd gone.
I'm kind of wishing we would have brought old Doris with us. She's like a whole brigade of battle ragers.
Oh, me too. She's just the greatest thing ever. She's so kind to everyone, just such a genuine person.
Yeah, she really seemed that way.
I love my little sweet pea. That's true.
Yeah, so hey there, buddy. Why don't you come up here and keep watch with me?
You're gonna bring him up to the very front line.
Well, I mean, you can stay behind me, but keep watch with me. I'm just anytime he starts talking about Doris, I'm gonna try to cut him off. Just I don't want
Well, I'd love to.
Grindlebrew to hear that.
Oh, I'm up here with the keeper.
Yeah, I'll keep you safe. Don't worry.
And he will kind of eagerly step up and kind of look about nervously.
Grindlebrew's
Almost getting twitchy.
Grindlebrew's gonna sort of as Roscoe and Grover go ahead, he's gonna look to Dr. Braso and Huell and say, well, I sensed that Roscoe didn't think Doris was really nice. Did you not think she was that nice either? You can be honest with me. You know Grindlebrew, he can take it.
She seemed tough. I think she was really tough.
Tough but kind.
No, she didn't seem nothing kind about her, Grindlebrew, but that doesn't mean you don't have love for her.
Back in
Some people just like a mean woman. Sorry, cousin.
the village, the village we came from, they would have called her a bitch. So
Oh,
I just
Female
thought maybe it was
dog,
the
in
way
case you
dwarves
didn't
are
know.
or something.
right, yeah. Oh, right.
Are you guys standing in the room having this conversation, or are you following?
As we're walking.
Following.
As
Yeah.
we're following.
Following along.
Walk and talk. Grindlebrew's like, I mean, I guess, but she's the only person I ever knew, so.
Some people
seems
just
real
like
strong.
being. Some people just like it when others are mean to them.
Or give them direction.
I
She
don't-
seemed like she was full of direction.
I don't know that I like that when people are mean to me.
Well, maybe you like it from this one woman.
As you guys are traversing down, you realize that you kind of are going down a similar tower, a very similar tower to kind of the one that you saw in Permath, and it is kind of winding its way down, and it's winding its way down the staircase, a few stories, nothing major, and eventually it comes and breaks into a long hallway that opens up on both sides, and then up in front of you, you notice that there's a big, open foyer, up there in the front. And the demeanor here, the decorations here are very drab and cut and dry. And it's interesting because there are pretty things here. There's beautiful architecture here. There are candlesticks that are made of gold and silver, and there's gems and fine tapestries on the wall, but that's not what catches your eye for long, because soon you see a skeleton walk right past the hallway like it didn't even notice you. And it cut in between you and your little group following behind this man, Lich, undead creature that greeted you.
I've plumbed the depth of many a dark tomb, and you don't see that every day.
Well, that's very interesting.
As you pass where the skeleton walked into, you look in, and you're really starting to breathe in a lot of the decay. It's pretty obvious to you that just sour, bitter, hanging on the back of the throat with no wind blowing through the area to give you some form of breeze. It just is just musty and tangy. And you can look over and you see several undead-like creatures. And it's very obvious that they're undead, and they're in several different shapes, just walking about in the other room and going about their business.
What exactly is their business? Like, are they making stew? What's going on over there?
If you stop and actually glance over, you'll realize that this is some form of a library, and you actually see a few just mongrels in there, a few skeletons, and you notice a kind of off in the back corner, even like a few just looks like people just dressed finely and nicely sitting in the back reading.
That's weird, guys.
And Roscoe turns around and sees Huell. And are we gonna rob the place?
No, because it's all right. I just, how I am about smells.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially with this place, it really is the smell.
It's definitely the smell.
Braso would have just paused for a moment to kind of like look a little dumbfounded, and then kept going.
The Lich breaks off and turns into the right. And as you follow him around the corner, you see a few floating, glowing orbs, a spectral figure that is see-through and has these awful gashes around their neck, floating in the air, and a black-haired man that is as white as a sheet, who is, again, kind of finely dressed in these sort of burgundy tunic, if you will, with very similar trim along the lines, much like what this Lich is wearing.
Please, take a seat.
And he kind of holds his hand up casually and points over to several chairs.
Are these chairs like made out of bones or something weird?
Nope.
I'm gonna kind of like go over and nudge one of the chairs and poke it a little bit before I sit down.
It looks like a finely crafted oaken chair.
Oh, is it human sized or is it halfling sized?
It's human sized. It even has, nice cushioning done on it as well.
It's even more you have to get up on. Okay, Roscoe will kind of hop up on a chair.
Nervously, Grindlebrew takes a chair.
Rothilian will take a seat as well, and Gregor is a little bit more hesitant, but after he sees Roscoe kind of, settling in, he kind of takes one over to you, and he's kind of like, you can tell from his body language, he's kind of like pulling away a little bit, but as he kind of sees you, he tries to straighten up a little bit and sit a little bit taller.
Look over at him. So, Gregor, how's the mapping going?
Well, to be honest, I haven't thought much about it at the particular moment.
What?
Your king did bring you here to do the mapping, cartography.
I'm here as a warrior.
No, of course you're not here as a warrior. Everyone knows you can't.
Not that we need a warrior.
What do you do in the what do you do in Volgrim?
He's a cartographer.
I know, Doctor. I wanted him to say it.
You know, I dabble from here and there, drawing maps. Mostly a lot of copying as well. You know, you got to learn to read the keys to update them from the old. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And he kind of shuts up a little bit after he sees the Lich Lord's pale eyes piercing over at him, waiting for him to stop talking.
I recommend a Dyson hatch, by the way.
Fucking Dave.
So, the sword is real.
Oh, you mean this sword? Yeah, it's pretty real.
That sword has caused us more trouble than anything I can think of.
I know. It's my whole life. It's plagued me.
A lot of people want the sword, want to talk about the sword. Not a lot of them know what's actually going on with the sword, including us.
Yeah, every time we try, we can't. It's like it won't let us identify it.
And we keep forgetting to as well.
Well, that too.
Presence here in Maznagrax is a blessing.
Can you come up like a semitone or two? It's a little bit really difficult to hear. I've lost most of the bass in my eardrums.
Please forgive my associate here. The Lich Lord of Maznagrax has difficulties understanding the right way to communicate with our guests. My name is Vermili Dorath, and that, of course, is the current residing Lich Lord of Maznagrax, Pagar Pakshar.
Pagar Pakshar. Okay, got it.
When you say it like that, leads me to believe there have been others.
There has been no other Lich Lord here in Maznagrax.
Well, you did say current.
Well, slip of the tongue. And as you guys kind of see, you can very obviously catch the canines when he speaks a little bit there.
Does he look Romanian?
He's very pale. Very pale at that point.
Mm-hmm.
We are in search of that particular device.
Oh, Roscoe don't like it when anyone touches his sword.
Another one of these guys. Sorry, but no cold collars, no sword touches, please.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of grown fond of it, even though it has been a bit of a trouble. But what do you need it for?
I do not need it without you.
It has been 747 years since a living being has walked here into the city of the undead.
It's quite a flight of fancy there.
Well, that's not so long ago.
He kind of cuts his eyes over at you. He doesn't say anything.
I remember now we were newlywed. We were so happy. So happy.
Don, we appreciate the love, buddy. Thank you much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
So what do you need? You say you need my cousin and the sword. Me and the other cousin over there aren't really...
It is not the cousin or this creature carrying the sword that we need.
Oh.
What we need is a living being.
Oh, so you're saying just anybody? Oh, that doesn't make it. Oh, Roscoe
Well,
looks kind of disappointed, actually.
We all feel a little cheaper now.
Did
So
you think that you were particularly special? I hate to disappoint you.
well, we're getting used to it. But so what exactly is you need with a living being and that sword? And you folks are being mighty cordial for being dead and all.
Yeah.
This is Maznagrax. It is a city of the undead. It is a sanctuary for those of us cursed, for those of us, and he points over, by choice, or those of us wishing to seek it.
I kind of look at Rethelian a little bit sideways.
We do as we wish here in the Shadow Vale. The problem that we have encountered is, well, A betrayal by one on the council.
What council would that be?
The council here for Maz Nagrax. We are ruled by 5.
Wait, I thought you were ruled by Lich Lord.
Indeed, the Lich Lord is the High Commander. But the council sees to the day-to-day, not that there is much to see to. It is more an honorary position than it is anything of actual value. There are not citizens that go hungry here. There is no food chain, if you will. We have our particular agreements set upon by the nearby settlements of the soulless. Not that they are actually soulless, am I right? And he kind of looks over at Pagar, and Pagar doesn't even break eye contact. He's still staring deeply at you, Roscoe, and the sword.
Tough room.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Might want to work that on before you put it in your type 5.
So who is this council? And
The council need not worry you. You will be gone, hopefully very soon. With our betrayal here in Maz Nagrax, as well as the rest of the Shadow Vale, there has been anchors that have been set in place that we do not wish to see. We are a monstrous city. And having our world, shall we say, merged with any other of the planes is not something that would have very much interest to us. Currently, we do as we wish. It is not a problem currently. Should your people and my people find themselves neighbors, this is trouble for us.
yeah, you would find yourselves, neighbors with a bunch of surly dwarves. No offense, Grindlebrew. But yeah, I could see the problem there.
So you're saying you don't want these portals opened either?
I want them closed immediately.
There's a drow infestation out there too. I'm sure you're not going any parts of that.
The problem is that the anchor, well, let's just say it is not so kind to us as well here. And you see him kind of stand up. Please step here to the window. And
Okay.
as you guys kind of it's a balcony more than it is a window. And as you guys, like, if you guys accompany him over there,
Yeah.
as you guys look down and look out into the city here, it's kind of dusk, like this ever dusk, if you will. And you realize that this city is fucking massive. It's probably as big as Permath is. Go figure, right? But it's not underground. It's out in the open air. It's just that kind of dark, grungy overhang. But it's still more than enough to be assaulted with that horrific tang of decay in your nose as you look down over the city streets and you see hundreds and hundreds, thousands maybe, of people, of undead. And they're just standing there encircling the tower. The problem is the mindless. You see, this anchor, it is a tool from the Shadow King. It is how he used Pagar Pax as a general for his previous army. It calls to us, and it is a dangerous object here in Maz Nagrax.
We cannot destroy this particular artifact without
And he points.
that. It is one of maybe a dozen or so magical creations capable of destroying the anchor. The other being its twin, what you call Lawbringer.
What? Thank you. Could you repeat that? This isn't Lawbringer.
That is sin so vera. It is the sword of the Shadow King.
Oh.
And my discovery of it in your possession was quite alarming, to say the least.
Oh, what does this sword do? I mean, has it got like scary, bad, juju, magical stuff going on?
He kind of pauses for a second as though he's not sure. And he points to the table and he kind of waves his hand briefly, and the few cups and whatnot that were on the table just go fluttering off onto the floor. And he motions like this, and the table picks up and levitates off the floor and floats right in front of you, Roscoe.
What do you want? Do you want me to cut the table in half?
The sword, please.
Oh, okay. I mean, they would have killed us, and he puts it on the table.
Yeah, they would have killed us by now if they just wanted the sword.
He puts it on the table.
It motions, he kind of flicks his hand over, and you see him pull the table up, and it kind of, floats in front of him a few times back and forth.
It appears as though it is devoid of power currently, but that is not a permanent situation.
Well, how do we juice it up? How do we charge it up?
I am not certain.
It was wielded by a Shadow King.
But its capabilities of destroying the anchor is certain to me, for its twin destroyed the anchors previously, more than 3,000 years ago.
Do you happen to know where Lawbringer is in that case?
I do not.
You keep mentioning these anchors. What about these anchors? I don't think you're talking about a ship or a boat.
No.
Apparently they are a tether from your world to ours. Now, how far they go, I do not know, nor does my Supreme Commander. And he kind of says, your guys are picking up on a little sarcasm here. The Pagar does not know either. Perhaps it is a small few mile radius that we will eventually become tethered to. Maybe a larger portal will be opened. Maybe it will be catastrophic. Regardless, it is not something that we have any interest in currently. Nor do we wish to be controlled by a particular anchor here.
Roscoe, cousin.
Yeah. What's up, cuz?
Pull out the map.
Okay. And Roscoe will pull the map out.
Because the map got marked every time one of these things occurred. So look at the map. The map shows some of the anchors, maybe. Is that what they are? Portals? Anchors? I don't know. This magic stuff. Huell usually does the magic stuff. But, I don't know if he knows about Shadow Veil magic stuff.
I don't know anything about portals or anything. No. Yeah.
Based on what we saw previously at my house, I do believe that you are correct in your hypothesis.
I thought that too. Mm-hmm.
So does that mean it's going to be a really big piece of the Shadow Veil that gets merged with our world? What happens to the stuff that's already there?
Give me an investigation check, whoever's looking at the map.
Okay. That's a thing that characters can do. Oh, that's a thing I can do. Not with a 5 though. What's an 8?
Yeah, Roscoe, you notice a symbol.
Isn't that 20 for Grindlebrew?
Look at that shit. Look at that shit, Grindlebrew. Roscoe and Grindlebrew, you both notice a symbol on the. You both notice a symbol on the sword here, right? Built into the hilt. Nothing major. Pretty insignificant. Almost like a sort of, not quite a square, but just a sort of kind of odd square-like symbol that hooks back around. And as you lay out the map, you'll notice it actually has 5 points on it with a curve. And as you lay out the map, you recognize this symbol, Pruitt. And Roscoe, as he's looking at this map, realizes this is going to be like a 400-mile section across.
Oh my. Yeah, that's gonna be huge, guys.
How far is it from Halflington?
From where you guys are, you're talking about like where you're actually from?
Yeah.
From Westbury?
Yeah.
Westbury actually might not be inside the area from how it, because Valgrim is kind of the point, and you guys were a little bit further. You guys are a little bit further west.
Well, cuz I don't know about these guys, but I think we're going to be all right.
Well, but I mean, are we going to be adjacent to it?
And there's more of these anchors, right?
Wait,
there's not just this one.
That's Volgren right there, I think. Oh.
You realize that there are 4 points currently on the map, and that this object looks like it has 5 points to it, kind of 5 little tips.
Yeah. Does it look like it squashes the orc section?
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Cuz orc problems solved.
Well, I don't know that that's the way we want to solve that particular problem.
Silver mine disputes over.
Well, yes, all of that. But then it's a planar confluence. I don't know much about planar magic, but that doesn't sound. It sounds like you got to keep your bits separate and not keep them all mixed up.
Well, I mean, wouldn't that mean that like undead would come through though?
I would assume so. Yeah.
Well, then we'd have undead orcs.
The undead is not your concern.
Well, I'm not particularly worried about y'all. I it's
the Shadow King's army was built on the backs of soulless.
How do you mean soulless?
Yeah, he's mentioned them a couple times.
Soulless is a form of humanoid creature here in the Shadow Vale.
And are they?
The undead portion of the Shadow King's previous forces was a small percentage.
I was just one of the 5 generals.
Well, then I'm assuming the other 4 are what y'all's other council members, but what threat are the soulless to us? I mean, they'll come pouring through and what, kill everybody?
Not necessarily, no. But they are an armed force. But the soulless were mostly eradicated in the previous war. I do not believe that a catastrophic event would occur immediately, but it would still not be pleasant.
It's not an outcome I'd like to see come about either.
Well, but what about the whatever that tar is that's leaking in?
This tar.
I do not know of such things.
Well, I mean, on the other side, there's like this black tar that's like seeping out from the portal and it's spreading.
I am not certain as to the cause.
Probably not good though, right? You know, black tar.
And
Probably
this
not
sword burns it away.
Perhaps it is the merging of our worlds.
Okay.
Well, that would make sense. You said you've experienced difficulties, changes here. It
Like a bad merger.
like a bad merger, and so we get a little bleed over on your side, we get some on ours. Everybody's bits are getting mixed up.
Again, it is not something that we want to see happen, which is why we need you. It was a very pleasant surprise when our Lich Lord here discovered that the sword was in your possession. You see, when the anchor arrived here in this tower after our betrayal, we, of course, immediately went about searching for what particular artifacts we might be able to use to destroy this particular anchor.
So you keep kind of saying the same things, but you're not really telling us what you need us for.
It is simple. We need you to destroy the anchor. The good news for you is this will be an easy task. In fact,
we've heard that
the anchor
before.
is directly below us. We have moved it here to our betrayer's tower to keep the mindless, as we call them here in Maznagrax, from bothering us in our own towns, or our own towers. The only problem that you will encounter is that because this particular artifact calls so strongly to the undead, those in the dungeons below cannot be counted on to keep you safe. So it is simple. You go down, you destroy the anchor, your portal will close, easy peasy.
Whoa. And it closes here, or we have to go in the tower on the other side of the portal, or the portal here? What side of the portal we got to be on when it closes?
He kind of looks over, the Lich Lord kind of looks over at the vampire.
I can hold the portal long enough for you to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Halfling huddle.
Okay.
All right, what's up?
You think he's really going to hold the portal?
Not for a second longer than he thinks is necessary, certainly.
Well, but aren't there other anchors? Don't we have to do this there too?
There's other anchors, so if they can't betray us after the first one. They might, though. They might.
Well, we should keep that in mind.
They said we're nothing special, so.
It seems like they need us for now. I think the moment they don't need us, they'll let us go. Just like
It's a little bit early to start in on that, Grindlebrew.
Yeah, Grindlebrew. We're probably all going to die anyway. I wouldn't worry about it.
Hey guys, give me a perception check.
already dead inside.
No reason.
It's a 14.
I mean, I got
21.
Okay.
Oh crap.
So, I mean, I got no problem going down there and destroying this anchor, because if this is what we got to do, then we might as well just get on with it. But I don't see why they can't help us more if it's what they really want. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Well, it more sounds like an inconvenience for them as opposed to like a real problem.
They don't want everything mixed up, though. They don't want our mages and priests and all that other business coming through here trying to stop the fact that there's an open portal. Although they would run into the drow first.
Oh, and don't forget Shakira.
The Shatira.
Don't lie.
But then we risk Shatira coming through here and dying and then being under the control of whatever Shadow King hold sway. Huell pops his head up out of the huddle. What sort of creatures and guardians are we likely to find down there? Are we talking bags of bones and whatnot?
He kind of pauses. He kind of looks over at the vampire.
Honestly, I am not certain. But I could probably guess at what company was kept in the dungeons. Several mindless, perhaps even the spectral. There might even be a resilient down there.
And the vampire kind of... A resilient is what we call a sort of peacekeeper here. It is a very controllable beast, but it is an undead form of floating, lots of eyes. I'm not certain what you call them. We just call them resilients.
I take your meaning. A big monster.
True.
Well, if I am gonna die, I'd rather, do it in a glorious way, I guess. Get it over with.
That's the spirit, Grindlebrew.
We would handle these undead ourselves, except for the fact that we do not wish to be that close to this particular anchor ourselves, lest we lose control. And I do not believe you would wish that upon anyone.
Of course.
What does the anchor look like? Do you know what the object is?
Oh, yes, in fact, we do. We had it moved. It is a sort of square-like crystal, a bit of a cube, if you will. It glows in a bright purple, omniscient light. It will be very obvious.
Before we undertake this endeavor, I feel as though the need to ask, perhaps you've some trinket or bauble, something that's worthless to you, but for a poor wretched soul such as myself, I would find greatly invaluable in assisting in this destruction of the anchor. Perhaps a curiosity or a little item of interest that you acquired long ago and have no longer need for.
Indeed, if we do this for you, though it is something that we would wish upon ourselves, what do we get in exchange?
Exactly.
I would think that would be obvious to you. What is it that you need?
I'd like your spell book if that was all right.
No.
It's worth asking.
Good idea, cuz aim high.
What about
Perhaps
one of
a
your
page or two?
What about one of your old spell books?
We surely have a traveling one that's dusty and you've forgotten all about it.
Notebook? Your latest notebook?
From diaries.
And you see him kind of turn a little bit and lower his head, kind of like he's frustrated. And immediately, as soon as he does that, and he turns his back on you guys, you kind of see the vampire like react, like, it is, I'm sure we can work something out for you if you need a particular trinket. Isn't that right, Pagar? We have particular items here that have been left over from the previous owners that are less valuable to us.
Understood.
And the Lich kind of like picks his head back up and kind of turns back over.
I assume you can handle the rest, Vermili.
Indeed, Pagar. I will handle the rest of our associates here.
You guys are all like powerful mages and stuff. Do you have like weird pitch? Do you have a like either a love potion or a potion that just makes it all go away? Just all the memories. Just all of them. Like 849 years of them. I liked my first year. That was a good year.
You, at this point, before he can answer, you see Gregor get up And he walks over to you. Oh, my dear friend, I'm so sorry for the pain we've caused you. I didn't know much about your relationship with Doris, but it's something that, she is available. And then, I don't mean to have...
you know what, Gregor, I tried to hate
Yeah,
you.
you're such a great chap.
Stop.
If only I could be half the dwarf that you are.
I wish I could hate you, but I just can't. So
please.
I don't feel like...
If it makes you feel better, and he turns and he kind of like presents his face to you, like he's gonna let you just smash him in the face.
Gregor like totally misreads it and kisses Gregor. I don't know.
Oh, I won't be having that. I'll tell you. I'm not.
Oh.
I've never been kissed by another Meldorf. You can't be telling people that on my first mission away from Volgrim, I'll have some Meldorf on Meldorf action.
I thought that's
I don't need any man stick jokes, let me tell you.
I thought that's what you...
I was going to let you hit me.
Well, Gregor, you did kind of present yourself to be kissed. I mean,
to be hit?
What are you supposed to do?
You didn't say that. And he's getting like more madder and madder, and he's sounding more and more like Doris. I don't know what I don't even know what would give you that idea.
That looked like a kiss pucker, not a hit pucker.
It did kind of look like it. It was very confusing.
Well, I was just...
If you're just going to send mixed signals like this...
It's not something that I'm interested in.
I don't know.
You're a great dwarf. Well, I mean, whatever you think of now, it's not something that I'll be interested in. I am interested in your wife, your ex-wife, Doris.
Wait, did she not get the paperwork filled out properly? Is y'all still married?
No.
I mean, I guess we'll just
papers get mixed up all the time.
We'll just throw this one up to the Shadowfell and all that. Just forget about it. I mean, that wasn't like it. I'm not lonely. That's what I'm.
What happens in the Shadow Vale stays in the Shadow
So
Vale.
I'm trying to say I'm not lonely and just trying to seek some kind of comfort. It's I'm fine. So about that potion of forgetting everything.
How up to date can you make that?
What's the latest save I've got to have made? What's the last backup I can log back to?
Thank you, Banisher of Hope. Apparently, Maldorf on Maldorf action is worth $10.
Get those donations. See,
shit.
I'll make that money.
Will Jones.
Shake it, Grindlebrew. Shake it.
There you go.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my, that was salacious.
It's for the money. We appreciate it, man. So, the conversation quickly changes as Vermeely kind of goes about turning and talking to several ghosts that are in and out, and he kind of is giving sorts of commands and orders and whatnot. And eventually he kind of leaves you guys here in this room with the promise that he will wrangle some things up for you. So, gentlemen, what do you want to do?
We're going down below.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Not
wait
way,
on
Gregor. No.
Vermeely. Vermeely. That's the vampire. Wampir.
Yes, Vermeely Dorath.
Vermeely Dorath. Mr. Dorath, surely you want us to succeed in this endeavor, don't you?
Of course, we wish this issue.
No,
I
I don't expect you to put your own self in harm's way. That's I never presume. But like I said, a small favor or a boon, perhaps, go a long way to ensuring our success.
I will see what I can manage to procure. Do you have any particular things in mind?
Huell Has Pagar, the Lich Lord, left?
He fucking left. Like during the several exchanges there where you guys were kind of like huddling away, very frustrated, and then his demeanor completely changed after you asked for his spell book.
Okay. Mr. Dorath, I've stated particularly what I'm interested in. I don't care where it comes from or whose it used to belong to, but I am interested in magical formula and certain spell descriptions that I can make use of indefinitely.
I will see what I can do.
That's all I ask.
Grindlebrew says, I would like a love potion and a potion that make me forget. I'm not sure which one I'm going to take yet.
And he kind of looks over, just like obviously going down the line here. He kind of just like looks over at you, Dr. Hill. Like you're going to make some ridiculous request of him as well.
Oh, no, don't look at me. Give my cousin what he wants, and well, I don't know. Grindlebrew, if you could get him, if you could fix his broken heart, that'd be nice. But I'm just ready to get this thing over. I want to get out of here.
And Pruitt, Roscoe, is he going to make any requests?
I'd just like to know what the hell this thing does and how to use it.
He kind of just looks at you and is like, I believe we will have to wait and see, as they say. So, he goes off, and you guys are alone here in this room. You have a few minutes here. What would you guys like to do? And you are still in this room, by the way, with Rothillian and Gregor.
Question. Can anyone ward themselves or protect themselves from undead? I don't happen to have a particular spell for that.
I think I can, I think I might have a thing for that, but I've forgotten. Channel Divinity, is that what I have? Yeah.
Looking for specifically if anybody prepared protection from good and evil.
Do I get turn?
I believe I have prepared myself quite well for this particular journey, and I think that we will be just fine.
Yeah, I can turn undead. Grindlebrew's like, yeah, I'm pretty good against the undead.
Well, that's perfect.
Can't protect you from it, but I'm pretty good with it.
I'll do what I can. It's a private joke to myself. I realized I didn't want to.
All right, gentlemen. So
that's my favorite.
You guys have.
I'd kill myself.
This is going to be your moments to prepare and plan. If you guys want to do any of those with either Rothillian or Gregor, or are you going to take both of them?
I don't know. We haven't done much of that so far. Why start now?
I mean, you might need Rothillian.
Yeah, if Rothillian's willing.
I have a hunch. This is just a hunch. Gregor might not prove as useful as Rothillian that would.
Yeah.
Oh, we can bring back undead Gregor.
In a city of the undead, any how should we put this? Well, any one of us could be a liability, and we want as few of them as possible. You understand, right, Gregor?
How are you telling me you've brought me all the way here to the city of the undead? After traveling through Permath, you're going to leave me here in the tower with a lich?
I'm pretty
and a vampire.
That's what my cousin said.
And a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what my cousin's saying is we really like you and don't want to see you turned into skeleton chow.
I am a warrior of Volgrim, and I will represent
Gregor, listen, we like you too much to be with you in any way, and I don't want to hurt you, and so I think it's kinda if we just let you down gently and we just leave you here, because anything else is just leading you on, and that's not fair on you,
I am not certain of your particular skills there, Gregor. You seem to be quite the apt fellow when it comes to lightening the mood, and perhaps that is needed down here in the Shadow Vale, but I'm concerned, and he kind of turns over to you, how it might appear to King Silverbane if Vogrum representative was not able to take part in the glory of a sanctified quest.
Oh, we could just tell everybody he was there.
I'll
I mean,
not
he
be
is
having
here.
it. I'm going. And that's that.
My real concern.
And we're going to need some armor and a big shield for him.
He's not married. He's got armor and a big shield. Remember?
Oh, he does.
Yeah, remember?
You need to put armor on top of that armor
He is.
and a bigger
When you
shield.
guys,
Double
when you guys
stack.
came down Vogram, or when you guys came down Vogram to the doors of Permath, if you guys remember, he was there like in that bright, shining armor that had clearly.
Yeah. His fresh. It smells like new paint.
Yes, he has new car smell and the leather still.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Gregor. You're an all right guy, but I like Grindlebrew better. My concern is you're gonna die, and he's gonna get Doris back. And before we were all about trying to get Doris back. Now we've met Doris, and she is kind of mean. And I think she's perfect for you, and not Grindlebrew. Sorry, Grindlebrew.
That hurts, but
We're gonna find you a better Doris.
No, you listen
sometimes
here.
the truth hurts.
I'm a dwarf of honor, and you'll not be talking about my wife like that again. Do you understand me? And he's kind of puffing his chest up at you, Huell.
Okay, me?
Oh, not Huell. I'm sorry, Dr. Hill. Huell and Hill.
We did the halfling switch and bait.
Dr. Huell. He's kind of puffing his chest up at you, Dr. Hill.
I'm gonna just kind of look at him funny. All right, fine.
So, after a few minutes, you see Vermeely come back into the room. And he throws down a dusty old book, not a set of scrolls. And Jim Davis, just because to make this a little brief here, and he could probably find you whatever you wanted here, to be very candid with you. Let's say that it's going to have 2 level 4s, 3 level 3s, 4 level 2s, and 5 level 1 spells in it. 5 of those spells, out of all of them,
Damn, son.
will be duplicates of spells you already have. You pick which ones they are. Whatever you think is fair. And of course, it will take some time to copy those from
Yes,
that book.
yeah. Huell tucks it into his sling bag and he'll peruse it later. It's going to take him probably several days to get through everything.
It will take you some time for sure.
Yeah.
So, are we all ready to go?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. And Huell casts mage armor.
Did he get me my
I'm
potions?
always ready.
Did he get me my potions, or is that something that I get at the end of this task?
He didn't give you anything. You're not sure if he will give you anything, but he did not walk in and hand you anything.
I said to him, "Did you get my potions?"
I apologize. It is not a particular charm of mine.
Do you know anyone that could do that down here? Maybe while I'm away?
I do not. Though, if you wish to stay, I could certainly make arrangements.
That's real tempting. But I'll let you know. Maybe I'll come back. I just wash it all away, you know.
Perhaps you will. And he kind of gives you a wink. So at this point, Rothelian,
I go to kiss him, again. Like, he's like moves forward for a second and then realizes that that's totally not, and just sort of like,
Rothelian digs into his bag, and he hands out potions to you guys. And they're 2d4 plus 2 healing. I always come prepared, I believe, and I think this is certainly time to prepare. Well, I was more sure of our capabilities to traverse Permath without difficulties. This is not particularly the same event, if you will. I'm sure we'll be fine, though, right? We always are.
Well, we survived somehow.
And Vermilion turns and escorts you guys back out into this main tower area. And you guys are seeing a lot of the same things. You're seeing this beautiful tower with these paintings on there. That this is not, it's not worn down and decaying. The building itself is in really great condition, really luxurious condition. And as you guys are kind of passing through, you're seeing skeletons, zombies, ghouls, ghasts. You're seeing specters and will-o-wisps. And you're seeing all kinds of things as you're heading down further and further, kind of down to the floor and eventually to a cellar that is going to take you down and into the dungeons. One particular scene that you came across was rather interesting to you, and that's that you caught another glimpse of Pagar, and you caught him just kind of as you passed through a door, and you didn't realize it was him at first, but that kind of green glowing amulet that he was wearing around his neck kind of tipped you off, and he was in a room with a chained up ghostly figure of a woman kind of sitting in the back. And that was it. That's all you saw. And then you continued on all the way down, and now you have entered into a section where he is going to deliver you to the tower's dungeons. At this point, he stops. I dare not go any farther. Already I can hear the beating and the thumping and the call of your friend's heartbeat. Are you going to be all right, little dwarf? Your thump is calling to me like a meal I have not had in too long.
I'm fine. I'm just a little bit confused right now because the love of my life.
I'll be fine.
Oh.
Both of you kind of talking at the same time. Just
Yeah.
wait, dwarf. Wait, there's two dwarves. Wait.
If someone asks Grindlebrew if he's okay, like they better be prepared. Because that is not like a I'm alright. That is actually, I'm going for a really rough time right now. I'm glad you asked because
when you're talking, he's kind of like looks over at you and he's like, and he kind of bucks up a little bit, like he's gonna get ready to handle his business. So at this point, you guys are led to a spiral staircase leading down and into the dungeon. Vermilion says, "Best of luck. I mean, if we do not hear back from you in a few hours, we will know that you are dead. So, welcome." That's a joke.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
You're in the city of the undead.
Well, curiosity, what happens if we die here?
Well, it depends. If you die here, if you are bitten by me per se, you will turn into a vampire. If you just outright die from decapitation or being eaten by some awful monster, then it kind of just gives you the look. And then he turns and he leaves. And you guys have been left alone.
Well,
in this tower, in the middle of the city of the undead, knowing that you're walking into a dungeon filled with undead.
Well, lads, usually I would say we've been in worse situations, but I don't think that's the case.
this is the worst.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. We should take it slow, but the corners are where they're going to get you.
It's true.
okay, nice and easy. And if anyone gets hurt, shout, "I'm hurt" or "ow." Otherwise, I probably won't do anything because that's kind of what I do. Maybe. You can lose your memory when you get hit by things, right? So maybe if I get hit hard enough on the head by like a mace or an axe or something, it's like a good solid hit, I could forget some stuff. Yeah.
Well, you have to survive. You have to survive it.
Yeah.
Grindlebrew.
And Grindlebrew starts like
Don't even listen.
he starts like heading on like yeah.
You might.
Huell, you'll notice that Rothillian loads up with mage armor as well. And he
Okay.
kind of begins to prepare himself. I believe you will need a form of light here.
That's no doubt. And Huell takes out his tinderbox and lights his lantern. It lasts 6 hours, 120-foot range.
It's pretty dope there, Jim Davis. All right, gentlemen. So at this
You said there
point,
was no wind.
you guys find yourselves crawling down, creeping down, making your way down. Seems to be a reoccurring theme at this point. And as you guys make your way to the bottom, you see that the staircase opens up into a small, plain room. The first room of the cellar. Up in front of you to the left is a doorway leading further in. What would you like to do?
I'd like to thank James Leslie for the chat. Appreciate it, buddy.
Oh, wow. We appreciate it.
Thank you. my
Let's
friend.
let's just, I know what I want to do. Let's establish our marching order. I think we need to put Rathilion and Huell in the center. Maybe me and Roscoe at the front, and maybe Grindlebrew at the rear with Gregor.
Great. That's great.
That works for me.
You hear that, Grindlebrew? We'll be bringing up the rear.
Maybe
We'll
Gregor,
be in the back.
maybe Gregor should be in between the wizards.
Grindelbrew's like, oh, right, that kind of, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Well, cousin, he is wearing a lot of armor. And it looks like it's barely even been touched. Means one of two things.
I'm gonna laugh so hard if a dagger hits you. I'm just gonna throw that out there. All right, so all right, gentlemen. So for all intents and purposes, who is leading?
I will.
Yeah, Roscoe will, and I'll be right behind him with weapons drawn.
I'll be third.
So I'm gonna be doing a lot of unmasking here tonight. So bear with me while I do that. Make sure that I've got the right layer and all that jazz.
I'm behind this mask.
Jinkies, it was Mr. Jenkins
I
all
was gonna
along.
say, yeah.
Oh my
I would have gotten away with two if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Oh boy, Screwball, man. Oh, like, zoinks, man.
Zoinks!
It doesn't help that I look like Shaggy. Oh. Oh, boy, Scoob. Ooh, what a
All right,
mess.
gentlemen. So
All right.
you can move your tokens around and kind of position them where you want to go. You've got kind of this first door up here in the section, and I'm going to be kind of lenient and let you guys tell me what you want to do before I unmask anything.
Oh my god, this thing is huge.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Okay,
completely
right-click it.
lost where it was.
First off,
Yeah,
right,
resize.
Oh, I
first
made the
off,
mistake of closing it.
Right click the map, Will Jones, and
Yeah.
resize it to small.
I
Yeah, there
did.
you
That's a crazy thing. Whoa. Okay. This
Here.
go. I'm watching it on the stream actually right now.
that is.
This is really, really amusing.
Can you look how
I can see the
big
stream.
it is.
I'm watching. Scroll all the way to the bottom right corner.
All right. We're
All the way
getting
to the
there.
bottom right
We're
corner.
working on
This map is massive. It was almost 5,000 pixels across. So, kudos to Fantasy Grounds and Dungeon Painter Studio for handling both of those. For the record,
All right, I've got my finger clicked down on the scroll. It's been about 20 seconds. I'll keep you
Yeah.
guys updated. There it was. There it was. It went. No! It just went past. Oh, fuck me. It just went past and I've lost it.
if you're at the bottom and you're in the right corner, just move slowly to the left.
I have lost in the map.
I mean, I can see it. I mean,
I'm lost in the numbers.
I'm not having any. I'm not having any
It's
issues.
just like
here, bro.
being inside the Matrix. Look at this.
Yep.
That's trippy as shit.
It's really funny. I will just watch this. It's all right. Fine. We got nothing to
This
do.
is a loading screen.
Every time I touch the map, no matter when I resize it, it goes back to embiggened. So
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh wait, no, it's kind.
Oh,
How do you guys
see,
do?
I tou- I touched it. I touched it and it all went back. This is triggering me. I touched
Oh,
it
I
and it
tell
all
you.
went back. Original size. Wait, original size. Oh my
Yeah.
god, all of Fantasy Grounds is his map.
Oh my.
There it is. I found it. All right. Well, there's no dice roller because there's no way for me to get back there. No. if you click on it, it goes. Now I just have vague brown space on my screen.
Pruitt, how you doing there, buddy? You having a good time?
Oh, I'm fucking triggered.
I can't. I got nothing.
Did nobody see the fucking map?
Now it's
No.
gone.
Wait a minute, I just had it and I lost it.
I had it. What'd
It
you
pulls up for
do?
me just fine. I don't know what to tell you.
It's just gone. I've just lost the map entirely.
None of your players can see it.
Okay, so I see it, but now I don't see our tokens.
I've lost the map entirely. Can someone reshare that?
I can't handle this. It's killing me. Okay.
Cody, next time can you make the map bigger?
Yeah,
I can't quite see it.
what do you want me to tell you? It was one big dungeon. Jim Davis is like, I want to see a big dungeon.
Yeah, you break it up into multiple maps.
I had no reason to. It handled. It handled just fine. This match.
It's not that one.
$5. Some dollars to try to keep Will from becoming a Grindlebrew type hanging there, but
What is the map called? I'm trying to find it. Is it unidentified map image?
yes.
Which one? There's 4 of them.
I can't name them. I just shared it with you, bud. Not that one. No, I'm
No.
all right, guys.
It hasn't
All
been
of the
shared.
ambiance. I was like, all right, now you guys are in the dungeon. What do you want to do? I can't find the fucking map.
Oh,
man.
the fucking map, mate. I sound like that guy from fucking Ocean's 11. It's already got a fucking body rubble.
So oh shit.
Okay, I don't have it at all. It hasn't been shared or didn't go through. I don't know what happened.
Share sheet again. They just pop up for you, buddy. Okay, so we'll Jones, make your map as big as you possibly can.
It just didn't share with me for some reason. You can see on the stream, it's just not. It hasn't popped up. I don't know what I did.
Go into images,
Okay.
and do you see it there?
Well, there are lots of them. Which one's it called?
It's called unidentified map image.
There are 4 of them. Could you rename?
Figure out the last one.
Oh my god. This is. What?
So
No.
I have it, but as soon as I click anything, it
Ah!
like goes black out.
One of them just popped up as Will. I just renamed the map Will Jones.
Oh, there it is.
Hey,
Small
did you
size.
find it, Will Jones?
Small size. Let's bring it big.
How much? All right, guys.
All right, this is. Look, it's not me. Are you guys getting this as well? Is it just me?
The same thing is
Okay,
happening to
good.
me.
I've just.
It's not just you.
Grab the bottom corner. Grab the bottom corner and stretch the map
I'm,
out.
I'm stretching her. I'm stretching her.
Yeah.
Now scroll in and out until you can resize the map.
When I scroll, it doesn't like it.
Yeah, it doesn't like it when I do it either. It doesn't like when I do anything to the map.
No, it
Yeah.
always does.
All right, guys, we can just describe everything if that's what you want to do.
That's fine.
I've
Theater of
done
the mind
all
works.
this beautiful work on this map, but apparently we're having.
The funniest thing is how much work you put into it.
I made a massive fucking dungeon for this.
Okay.
right.
I just.
We are live, folks.
Okay, here's what I'm going to show you guys on my wireless mouse. Okay, look. This is the scroll button. If I scroll on Fantasy Grounds, this is what is going to happen. See, I moved it and it went. Okay, thank you. All right. Theater of the
All right.
Mind. Let's cut back the other overlay. What a magical technology.
Going through the door.
Yep, I head through the door and I slay the boss monster.
God, that is really gonna fuck a lot of shit up. Because I had a lot of little.
Yeah, I mean, it's not your fault. It seems like a thing.
All
We're
right.
sorry about the hiccups there, folks. We'll get it figured out here.
Yeah, I lost more than 5 sanity on that for sure.
That was
Small
easily,
size.
yeah.
That's a
So
temporary.
when
Way to
you
gaslight us, Cody.
when you see, I mean, I wish you could see my.
That would
my
be
screen.
such a
Like, it works
sophisticated
so
troll.
beautifully.
That's
It
such-
works so beautifully
this-
on mine.
this
I
is
don't
such
know
a-
why you're
so-
having issues with it.
a really sophisticated troll that you've gone to all of this effort to like
All right.
detail right the map and I'm like, fuck these guys, they're not
We're
gonna be able
back
to
in
get it.
episode 1 from fucking August.
I got those
All right,
maps.
we'll figure it out. All right, gentlemen. So, you have a core. you're in a small boxed room, and you are up and to the left. You see an entryway into the next area. How would you like to handle this?
I'm gonna grab a whiskey.
You can grab a whiskey. Do we need to take a break, folks? Because we got
It's just one of those moments, you know. It's just Grindlebrew comes along.
We'll talk. Listen, we'll talk about the Mistwalker. If you guys want to talk about that, we'll talk about WebDM hitting 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we did.
We can congratulate those guys on air, you know.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was over the weekend, and I didn't have a phone with me for the entire weekend, so it was like the biggest social media weekend we had, and I was like, I had to be tethered to a laptop, and like a laptop's a lot to lug around. Anyway,
it is. Why didn't you have a phone?
I needed a new one, and then the SIM card was messed up, and I had to get another one. It's not even worth going into.
Who's your carrier? They're not a sponsor.
It's fine. It's a hassle. Anyway, 100,000 is pretty cool. That's way more than I would ever consider anybody wanting to listen. So there you
go. Don, we appreciate the love, my man. Thank you so much. We're gonna get back to the game here.
The 100K video was a great video though.
Yeah, we shot it mostly off the cuff, and it was just like, you know, ready to just let us know what's going on, Will.
Yeah, we got the update, whiskey update 1. Next, he's got to run over with the glass and then run off camera.
So how pumped? So I gotta ask, because this is the question that everybody wants to know, and I didn't see the video. I watched the first few seconds of it.
You're not a real fan, Cody. You're not a real fan.
Not a real fan.
Fuck you.
It's a long video.
Yeah, who makes 25 minutes? Anyways, who gets the button?
So we had
is it going to Travis?
We had a discussion. Travis is going to get it first. It will always be on set.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But Travis has decided he wanted it first, and he seemed to really want it first. So, but it'll find its way around. It's our tiny silver baby.
As I talked to Travis ages ago, and he's just like, dude, he's all like, dude, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna need our goddamn silver play button.
I wanted to like smash it or burn it, but you know.
Oh, dude.
I thought that was a thing. I didn't know. I thought like the people who do it, like it's a big deal. You smash or I don't know. I really don't know YouTube.
Okay, so here's a good question for you guys before we jump in. Do you think anybody in this niche is going to get a gold?
Oh, that's a tough one.
How many views is a gold? Or how many?
A million.
A million subscribers.
A million.
You think Colville will hit there?
I mean, if any one of them, it seems like Colville's in position to.
Maybe. I mean, Geek and Sundry's done it, but you know they do a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
that's not just
like a conglomerate brand.
Yeah, we appreciate all the love in the chat for WebDM. It's a big milestone. I'm blown away by it, and it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, fuck yeah, guys, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me in my Discord. They're like, "Hey, man, you know, how do you feel about WebDM getting to?" And I was like, "I feel fucking great, dude. Like, what are you talking about? We've been cheering you guys on for a while, so very, very, very well deserved, and much love to you three guys for just grinding."
Yeah, it's weird. Like we get asked that question too. Like, how do you think we feel about it? I mean, sure, we wanted to beat them there, but you know, we're happy they're there.
It's funny. It's funny. Friends. We seem like we're friendly on camera, but off screen we hate each other.
Everyone hates each other.
We're like the Gallagher brothers of D&D.
And Will and PRUITT hate each other the most because they're on 3 games together.
Yeah, I can't fucking stand Will for 9 hours every Wednesday now.
Dude, is Will Jones young enough to be your son?
I mean,
shocker.
Are you asking like
you're 36, right? He's 21. So you could have had him when you were 15.
I could tell you guys a funny story about this briefly, actually.
We're just totally derailed.
Because I mean,
Will is 4 years older than my son.
If we're speaking about like who could be my father, legitimately most people could be my father. I've never known my biological father. I've only known my actual father. So yeah, it is entirely possible that
Pruitt
John from
is
Pruitt
your
is,
dad.
is my father.
Wait. Did your mother come on a camping trip over to Oklahoma when she?
Just say yes. Just say yes for posterity's
That rings a lot of
Canon.
bells.
It's canon.
No, Pruitt, he's an orphan. He doesn't know where his father and mother went. All right.
I'm just an orphan from London. I have a family. I'm not.
No wonder you loved last week's session. All right, gentlemen. So,
We're in a dungeon.
So we're doing it theater of the mind.
Yeah.
this is so awful because I have so many. I'm going to show you. All right. If you're a patron of mine, you're going to get this map this month, anyways. But I'm going to show it to you guys because there's so many little walls that I wanted you guys to peek around and encounter things. All right, I'm a man. I can do this. So you find yourselves in a
that
dungeon.
affirmation. Come on, Cody. I'm a man. You're a man. You can do this. Come on.
Rodney Dangerfield over here.
Uh,
Up ahead of you is an entrance on the left side that leads further into the dungeon. How would you like to proceed?
Cautiously.
Yeah, what he said.
Roscoe, you make your way up to the front to peek around to the side, and you can't see down here in the dark depths of the dungeon here in the tower. You can be aided by Huell's lantern, if that's what you guys want to do. Do you want to peek the lantern and peer all the way straight down the hallway?
Yeah.
As you do, you see that the hallway does not go terribly far. In fact, it cuts both to the left, and there's a room immediately to your right.
Well, I say we check the left side first.
Cousin, your instincts are always really good, so let's go with that.
So, as you guys peer into the room on the right, Huell, I assume you quickly flash your lantern across it. Give me a description. Okay, Huell's lantern.
yes, I have a Huell's lantern. It's what I'm.
It's a bullseye lantern, so it's very pointed in where you direct the light.
Yes, I'll direct it where it needs to go. And it's like the three of us are halflings up front, so he'll just kind of hold it out. If he needs to put it on the end of his staff and kind of like work it around a corner so Roscoe can see.
By the way, real quick, before we proceed, what I'm going to do to keep this flowing a little bit is I'm actually going to stop us here so we can flow a little bit here in a second. Let's go ahead and we're going to take 4 group perception checks. So if everybody could roll me a perception check for the first round and let me know your scores.
Boom, 20.
You can just call them out as you roll them.
13.
I got a 11.
Okay.
That's an 8.
Okay. Second round.
$17.
Jeez, 19.
4.
I got a 7.
There we go. Dirty.
I'm getting a good grouping here.
I don't know if that helps.
One second.
If that helps you out, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Tight grouping.
Third.
Whatever gets you there, Dave.
What's your third set?
14.
11.
Ooh, 6.
13. Nailing these rolls.
Okay. And then the last section.
That's a 9.
16.
18.
22.
Just really
now
could have
value.
used that 18, 19, and 20 on.
Also, I need to
So
know
many other
what.
rolls.
I almost got a straight 7, 8, 9.
like
I also
playing
need
dice
to know,
poker.
Huell, what are your portents?
They are 13 and 1.
You rolled a 1, buddy. That's
Sure
gonna be
did.
fun. That is going to be fun. Okay, gentlemen. So
So if you use that portent of a 1 for one of us, do we then get to re-roll it?
I would roll
guess.
yes. I would roll
know.
yes. Just so you know, I would rule that yes. So
Okay.
you flash your bullseye lantern across quickly, and you see a couple of old, decrepit crates in here, and you kind of hang for just a second on the crates, looking for anything peeking out, and you find the room empty. As you turn your lantern back, you see that the hallway in front of you goes both left and to the right. This was kind of an offset room, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, left hand's best, generally, right?
Yeah, I agree. Let's go left.
When in the city of the dead, one is as good as the other, I suppose.
Left sounds just fine.
You'd think they would have told us where it was.
You think so, wouldn't they? But I guess maybe
It's almost like they didn't try.
Maybe they never been down here.
I might have forgotten it. If you're undead, you might not have a good memory. I envy them that.
Don't get any ideas, Grindlebrew.
Yeah. No.
So if we head down the left-hand path,
You see a dead end and one room, or at least an entranceway into another path.
Move down and look in that entryway.
Again, with the bullseye lantern to flash across the room.
Yeah.
Take a moment. And you peek around the corner, Huell, and help aid Roscoe as he peers in and kind of steps in front of you. And you flash your light across the room. Empty. The only thing that you see filling up this room are some manacles tied to the wall and several potentially centuries-old bloodstains on the floor.
nothing in the manacles.
Nothing. No remnants, no body parts, no bones, nothing. As you turn back to the right to follow back to the dead end, away from the dead end, you peer up in the hallway in front of you. The light goes much, much further and hits a back wall, I would say 60, 70 feet out in front of you. You can notice a large corridor that cuts over and to the left.
Looking at the floors, the stone floors, does it look like, are they dusty? Is there traffic here? Are they clean?
They look dingy and dirty. Like, there's really not a lot of use to be using the dungeon here very much. So will you follow down the steps to that back area that seems to break off in different directions, or will you cut to the corridor that leads to your left?
Did they tell us where it was? Like, they had a move down here.
They just said it was down here in the dungeon.
Sit
And you
down
guys
here.
didn't really bring it up. You wanted to ask for spell books from the Lich.
Well, I don't know what Braso and Roscoe asked for. I think we should at least see what's around on this level before we head down anywhere.
Yeah.
To be clear, the steps don't go down very far. They're just, it's just like a little,
Like a short flight of steps.
yeah,
Okay.
nothing major. So, and that kind of dead ends up ahead with sections off on each side.
I would prefer to go down the left-hand path myself.
I agree.
Keep with the left.
It's done us well so far.
Okay. So you guys cut left, and Huell, as your bullseye lantern, how far does your bullseye lantern go?
It's 60 feet bright, 60 feet dim.
It, wow. It appears that the corridor, it's probably about 15 feet wide. So it's a massive, like, walkway, in essence. You guys don't feel claustrophobic down here at this point. This corridor is huge. And you can see a room kind of up ahead, peek off, very small entranceway. And it actually kind of looks like there's like a gated section on it almost like it's, been barred off and that is open. And then much further down, up a little few steps, and your light fades off as it goes into a potentially maybe a large room. You're not 100% sure. Then before you get to the very end, over on the right side, it looks like the corridor hooks a right.
Do you want to, cousin, we want to peek in that room there?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind peeking in there.
It could be useful. I might have... I mean, that guy, the vampire, had a whole lot of stuff going around, and the Lich, he knew what he was up to as well, so I reckon these guys down here, they might have a bit of that loot stuff that you guys always like. And, for my part, I might find something, like worth living for. So that could be good.
Well, I'm all for that. I think let's just take a quick peek, but be careful. Watch those corners.
So I assume Roscoe will go up kind of to the edge and kind of place his back against the wall like he's getting ready to look. Do you have the lantern here covered up before you look into the room?
No, I mean, I wouldn't have it.
So
just like swivel
anybody
it in.
that could see this light would just see the light, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
As you turn, you and Roscoe both see this huge axe coming down in on Roscoe to make an attack. So, gentlemen, give me a second here. We're going to jump into initiative. Let me see what I can do. Let's see if I can roll initiative for everybody. Roll NPC initiative. How about that? Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, and so that is going to lead us with an attack here. If I cannot click on it, there we go. Sorry, 1 second here, guys. Okay, so this, I'm also having apparently some of these errors coming up with Fantasy Grounds real quick.
I think we're on different updates or something.
I think that's exactly what it is. So I'm going to see if this works against Roscoe. And it does look like it works against Roscoe, and it swings against you. So as this great axe comes down and slams into, it could have caused much more significant devastation, but you were able to kind of pull back here at the last moment. And this is going to throw. Why did that not do that? This is going to. Okay, well, let's try this. Error dropped on target, not listed. Let's try that. Now, guys, I'm having some issues here. So, 2d8. You're going to take 7 points of damage as this thing kind of charges and slashes down on top of you. And that is going to be followed up with another beast. And with the bullseye lantern kind of catching just parts of this, you're kind of waiting to see what was behind that particular attack. That question is answered immediately by a huge skeletal minotaur charging down on you and kind of squeezing through this section here. This is going to be at Huell. So it is going to make an attack here.
AC 15.
And we got a 6 as this thing kind of charges and already jumping back from that axe swing. You were kind of trying to get prepared for that. So that will end the first round where you guys were surprised. This brings us back to the top of order, and that will bring us to Roscoe. All that you see at the moment, Roscoe, is you see a large minotaur skeleton out in the hall wielding an axe that is kind of slammed into the back wall, and then immediately in front, in like kind of the doorway there, you see another minotaur, skeleton minotaur. Kind of that's the one that has just attacked you. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna go after it. So, wielding the I can't remember the fucking sword's name.
Sensover,
yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and wield it, two-handed, of course.
Wow, look at that. Natural 20.
So
I would say that it gets
what
there.
The fuck?
Jeez.
What just happened?
Did you
Oh,
smite?
I'm not sure that's correct.
Thank you, Fantasy Grounds.
I like this bit.
Throw that out there that may not be accurate, buddy.
What the hell? No, I clicked on the 1d10 and it rolled that many d8s. What the fuck?
Did you mean
Okay.
roll 48
Yeah, that
damage?
seems. I mean, that seems a little bit more
Okay.
up the stuff.
So 12 damage.
Roscoe's been holding back all game. That's
It's like, and now I use my ultimate ability.
Roscoe,
Actually, a paladin.
if you're attacking with Lawbringer just to make my life easier, and I don't have to keep up with it, and you can keep up with it, you're gonna deal out double damage here, bud.
All double damage to undead. Okay.
Yeah, it's just gonna deal out double damage,
You just
bud.
went
Okay.
full
So
on
that's okay. That's going to be 24 then.
24 points of damage.
And then I'm going to go ahead and follow that up with a flurry of blows. So that's going to be a miss. And 19, does that hit?
The 19 will hit. It will get there.
It'll get there. So it's going to be 5 more damage.
Okay. All right. That brings us over to Dr. Hill. You have this these two lumbering Minotaur skeletons here in the hallway with you.
Are they standing next to each other?
Not really. No, because one charged out and across this big corridor that you're in, and the other is kind of in the doorway there.
Son of a bitch. Okay. Then I will go after the one that my cousin just smited.
Smoked.
Smoked. And I will let loose with the whip first. And that's not going to do it.
That's that halfling one.
It's a halfling one.
It is. Then I charge in with the short sword. Wow.
Wow, buddy.
Fantasy Ground hates me tonight.
That's pretty rough, my friend. That is pretty rough.
All right, Roscoe, I'll distract him. You get him.
Did you add your +1 for flanking?
Yeah, so that brings us over to Grindlebrew.
All right. And I see this. Sorry, describe to me one last time, Cody, what this thing is.
It is a Minotaur skeleton.
A Skeletor. Hello, He-Man. Okay, I'm going
About to fuck y'all stay up and y'all don't even realize it. All right, what's up, man?
I'm going to cast.
Beastman, what do you know?
I'm going to cast a guiding bolt upon it.
Yeah, fire off.
I'm gonna do so. That's
You got to hit a 12.
15 is the number I have hit.
Why is Grindlebrew attacking
yeah,
with disadvantage?
I don't know why I'm at disadvantage. Am I technically dead on a condition or something? It could be.
This is Fantasy Grounds. We're haunted
Only
by the
Grindlebrew's heart is dead.
I think it's Doug right in there right now. He's like, fuck these guys. Screw us.
All right, you're no longer unconscious.
Yeah. I've been acting weird recently. In that case, he takes
Holy hell, where are we?
13 points of damage and is going to take the advantage on the next hit against it.
Okay, and that brings us over to the Minotaur skeletons. The first one will turn and see a line of people in front of it, and it is just going to lower its head and just charge into this. So that is going to be a gore attack against Dr. Hill. We've got a massive hit there, and it is going to throw 8 points of gore damage at you, but it's also going to throw out an extra 9 points of gore damage as it gets that kind of extra charge. Go ahead and make me a strength saving throw, bud.
Oh, nice. This should go well. That's an 11.
It's not a 14? Okay, so you are pushed 10 feet away and knocked prone on the floor as this thing just rips into you. And you kind of let out the little and you can notice immediately a kind of a spray of blood drip out of your mouth. As you look down, this thing kind of pushes off of you and you have a nasty tear in your abdomen. Kind of a scary little tear there. And so that will be followed up with another great axe swing on Roscoe.
And thank you to Emophobe, that $10. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back, PRUITT, and congrats on the 100K. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Look at that love.
Woohoo!
Roscoe, I got another 19, buddy. That is pretty tough. And it's going to throw out another 16 points of slashing damage as it cuts deep into you. The only thing stopping it from cutting all the way through, you feel, is that it just buries itself into the doorway. That is going to be followed up by a massive charge. Hold on, I'm sorry. After Grindlebrew, have you gone yet? Yes, you did. Huell, you went or no?
I have not gone.
Then it is your turn, sir.
Huell's turn. Huell, is there one in melee with Huell?
No.
Okay. In that case, what's that?
You can't get a flanking on it at the moment because Dr. Braso Huell has been knocked prone.
Yeah, and that was the one that had been glory bolted. Yes.
Yes, correct.
Nice. In that case, Huell is going to take out his trusty wand, and for like a dozenth time is going to see. Actually, it's untrustworthy, mischievous wand, and he is going to attempt to Ray of Frost the one that's menacing his cousin Braso. Hell no, it's not fucking hit.
You're not going to get to
7.
You're not going to get to that 12. You fire off. You think you know where it is, but with the lantern, there's not a lot of light down here. You kind of whip over to the side, and it charged past you so quickly. You kind of just miss it wildly to the left. Do you want to move?
Wait, was that the one that he guiding bolted?
Actually, yes. So it would have advantage on it.
I will take that advantage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, PRUITT.
Pocket rules lawyer.
That is correct.
13.
13 is going to get there, gentlemen.
Get some.
That's
You're
not a
welcome.
save.
I forgot.
It actually
You're welcome.
ricochets off the back, and that's his
Right, 4 frost damage to the skeleton.
Wow.
And he kind of gives out this kind of grunt, and it kind of cuts its eyes back over to you with these empty, soulless, red, beady eyes in the middle of its skull.
Rather noisy for someone without lungs.
It's phantom lung.
Monsters that don't make noises are boring.
I wonder if I can crawl up into it.
Do you want to move?
Seems like a safe spot.
Not if I'm in melee, am I anywhere near? I'm not. Well, you've already answered that question. Yes, I will move to the back. I'm gonna
Go get him, Gregor.
Shoot, scoot.
Next up we hear, back you foul beast! And he comes charging in.
He's Sam Gamgeeing it.
Yeah, he is.
He's going full Sam
He
Gamgee.
comes charging in, and actually, let me pull up his stats here because he's statted out like a guard. With the 11, I'm pretty sure he gets more than one. Yes, he does.
Beautiful.
Managed to land a blow against this mighty foe, and that is for a whopping 9 points of bludgeoning damage, which is actually going to crush this thing right in front of him.
Damn
He
it, Gregor.
comes up, and Gregor
Kill stealing son of a bitch.
buries
always chaos.
this warhammer,
chaos
and you
with
guys hear this like of the skull shattering and the bones just falling down limp with a bloody horn that's been buried into Dr. Huell, just crashing down to the ground in a big heaping pile of dust. And as he turns to celebrate, you guys hear this of just these slurping, awful, horrendous sounds, and come pouring out of this doorway here next to the skeleton are these several just kind of zombified like but oily and slick creatures with these long nasty tongues as they hiss out at you guys. And so the first one is going to retch itself up to Roscoe, and since she's the first target there, and it is going to lash out at you with a bite. 17, is that going to hit?
That'll hit.
Oh, man. Roscoe is just getting buried up here in the front lines, guys, for another 10 points of piercing damage.
Oh, Roscoe, I got you. Don't worry.
Ow.
You're just getting waylaid and waylaid. The next one and just leaps over at you furiously with his long claws extended there, Huell. and that is going to slash out at you for a 16.
I got a shield for that, baby.
So 16 is going to go wide.
It'll boost my AC to 19.
Yeah, absolutely. At the last minute, and you kind of get that shield up, and you kind of see the magical sparks fly off from its claws, and as it gazes at you menacingly. And the third one turns and just kind of and leaps wildly over at Gregor, who's kind of turned back to the doorway over to where you guys are, and he's like, yeah! And he just gets viciously mauled by this thing. And it is going to be a natural 20 as this thing slashes out at him for...
Take a 13 on that, baby.
A 13...
Instead of that nat 20.
A 13 is not going to connect. You kind of go into this vision and you tell him to duck at the last minute, and he just and kind of goes. This thing lashes out wide and over the top. At this point, this brings us to our boy Rothillion. So, guys, what do you want Rothillion to do here? Give me an idea.
Kill them all.
Yeah, he should be an evoker and should drop a sculpt spell fireball on him.
A sculpted fireball right here in the doorway. That is exactly what he does as he just immediately goes into it. And Huell, you know exactly what's about to happen. Do you react to this?
I mean,
he's casting fireball.
Well, technically, I have no reaction left because I used my shield.
But you can hear this.
I hear it and know what's going on, and I might just gaze in wonder at what's about to happen.
Fire erupts, and it kind of ricochets down this walkway, and none of you feel burned. You all feel completely safe. Very hot as this heat just washes over your bodies. We have a couple of saves here to make here, guys. So give me just a heartbeat. Let's make 3 of these. 2 for the Minotaurs. Oh, that's a fail. And then 1 for the gas as a group, which is going to fail. So, I guess I only needed to make 1 for the Minotaurs. Regardless, I believe that's 8d6. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So these ghasts are going to catch ablaze severely. They're not going to drop completely, but the second Minotaur over there in front of you, Roscoe, is also going to take a walloping from this particular spell. And that brings us back around to the initial turn order of Roscoe.
How many of these gas are still up?
There are 3, and they are burned significantly. They are all prone on the ground at the moment.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take my first swing at the Minotaur.
Yeah, fire off. You got a 12 AC to get. Oh, that halfling one.
Yikes.
And then I'll follow it up with a. He's still up, though. Yeah, I'll punch him. 12 hits.
12 hits. You going to deal bludgeoning damage?
Yep. 8 damage. Max.
Yeah, so you come up from it kind of reacting quickly after just literally being completely encompassed in flame, and you slash high and wide where you think the thing is going to be, but you close the gap and follow it up with a pretty devastating blow, and you can hear the bones crunching and breaking as your small body literally leaps up from the ground and drives through, cracking several of these bones, but the beast still stands. That brings us to Dr. Hill.
All right, I will stand up and use half my movement. I don't know if anyone's near me or not. If they are, I will just eat the attack of opportunity. So there's two ghouls or ghasts on.
There's 3
on Roscoe. So at least 2 of them have to be close together, right?
There's 1 on Roscoe, 1 was on Huell, and 1 was on Gregor.
Oh. Are any of them within 5 foot of each other?
I would say no, because Roscoe was kind of in the doorway, and the other 2 kind of like just trampled in and leaped off in different directions.
All right, so I will lash out with the whip. Oh my god. At the one that's harrying Roscoe, I will move in with the short sword to try and
That is a melee attack against a prone foe. I believe you have advantage on that.
You do.
Oh, it's prone. I didn't know it was prone. Well, then I'll take that 18 instead.
All right. I'll allow it. Yeah, and so you come up with the whip. One thing you notice is even with that fireball and kind of giving off that kind of loud burst of flame noise, this whip is tremendously loud, and it rings all the way throughout the corridor as it cracks off and digs into this particular ghast. You literally slash its head and splice it right in half. And as it's kind of like getting up with its charred body, with its muscles, trembling, it's done.
Then I will move to the one on Gregor and lash out with a short sword. AC
13 is enough, and you absolutely slash into this thing, and you drop this one as well and just run it through, taking advantage of it quickly. With a quick crack, you run over and just run the next one through as it slinks down to the ground, hopefully lifeless.
And I give Gregor a sly look, and I guess I spoke too soon about you back there. You're pitting yourself nicely, lad.
That will bring us to Grindlebrew.
Roscoe's looking pretty injured over there, so I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna give you a cure wounds for 12 healing. And the ring just sort of like pulses itself into Roscoe's wounds. It's not your time to die. Might be mine. So move, action, and I don't have any bonuses that I want to use. I can't do another spell. So that is my turn. I'm going to heal up the Roscoe. Keep on tanking the fight.
And then you realize that you've kind of like secured the backside of him next to this ghast. That will bring us to the Minotaur, who is going to raise its great axe high. And Roscoe, you can see this coming a mile away, and it swings it hard and slams it. Let's see if it's able to connect. It fires off for 21, buddy. Are we using important there?
Not yet. Roscoe's still,
and it is going
stand.
it is going to slam into you for a meager, considering the size of this, 8 damage as you almost avoid the blow entirely, but it still clips and cuts into you pretty deeply. That brings us back around to Huell.
So I've got a ghast on me, like just a slavering ghoul monster.
And it's at your feet. And right now, and it's trying to get up, and this smoldering steam is coming off of its crackled skin.
Yeah, if it's at my feet, Huell takes his quarterstaff in 2 hands, and he's just gonna brain it, or at least hopefully, because you
got an AC of 13. You got
advantage to hit.
AC of 13, 3 hit points, buddy.
Here we go.
Oh man! You feel like you have the drop on it, and you take just an extra second of hesitation, and you see the thing kind of, and it rolls over to the side before trying to get up to spring another attack on you.
Okay, well, I back up.
You're gonna back up.
I like back up in a defensive posture.
I gotcha. Gregor, he is going to react quickly and run over and try to aid you, Huell, as if the ghast is the only thing remaining. He doesn't quite see the other Minotaur from around the corner there in that doorway. And so he's going to run up and try to smash into this thing. He's got +3. It's going to get there. And he's going to throw out that 1d8 +1, which is all but guaranteed. Just barely. Just barely. They don't have any resistances to it. No. And so, it gets ready to it recoils back. It gets ready to spring back on top of you. And just in time, Gregor comes up and just starts slamming it as hard as he can over and over and beating it into the ground. That adrenaline coursing through an unexperienced warrior's body. He is reacting violently. But
That was Huell's ghoul.
that was Huell's ghoul ghast, and all of the ghasts are now dismissed or deceased. The only thing standing is still the Minotaur, and that brings us back over to Rothillion.
Huell's going to push Gregor towards the Minotaur.
Rothillion is going to simply slide over and Irfin and kind of fires off a firebolt here at this thing. And so let's see if this is going to hit. It most certainly is. And I believe that is going to be a 2d10 for him. He's going to fire off 7 points of fire as he blasts into this thing. I will have to check that firebolt spell, make sure it's not 3d10, but that's all right. For now, that is more than enough. And this thing kind of stumbles back over. It's got that kind of continued smoldering look. And Roscoe, you feel like you could probably bring this thing down. It is your turn.
Okay. I will attempt to do so. Oh, so close. With the first one, it's going to be 8 damage with the sword. 16 damage.
16 damage. Roscoe, please describe your killing blow, sir.
Oh, well, I mean, this thing is just a big skeleton, right?
It's a big skeleton. You've got several cracked ribs on it and
Yeah,
bits broken off.
So yeah, just looking at this thing as it just like hit him with the axe, and he's just going to come with an uppercut swipe, catch it right between the legs, and just go up the left side and just come through the ribs, through the clavicle, and out the top, and just like cut it in half.
And just falls down and clings to the ground in a pile of dusty bones. And the halls here in the dungeon again fall quiet.
Huell's going to inspect the corpses.
Go ahead and give me the investigation.
All right, investigation. Oh, that's a skill
I believe
I've
that
actually
was
trained in.
quite easy to handle. There we go. You see, it won't be this difficult.
Got that big 4 for a 9.
Yeah, I mean, they look like they've been smoldered and burned up and smashed and obliterated and cut and broken. But for the most part, they're undead. You know, they're undead. That they don't seem to have anything significant going on with them. There's no loot treasure to be taken from them. The skeletons did have and do have rather large great axes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was looking more to see if there was a way to like discern how long they've been here, but I guess if this is just a place where undead live indefinitely, it probably doesn't.
Yeah,
They're not like they're not like freshly wandered into the Shadow Vale kind of people.
yeah. But by the
right.
way, PRUITT is dropping out here. He's not feeling so good.
And
so,
that's actually right. That's
Yeah.
fine, because I'm going to jump in here. As you guys are kind of investigating, recovering, you guys are hearing this kind of echoing off into the dungeon.
We should probably move. Stay moving.
And that is where we are going to end for tonight. So I didn't realize PRUITT was ducking out. It was the ending point anyway. So
it's all good. It's all good.
that's all we got for tonight, gentlemen.
Sweet.
Hopefully we can get the map fixed, guys. We do apologize about the hiccups there.
Damn map.
But
I
I think we're getting a little progression tonight.
I just want to say, Cody, you've got the best NPC voices and monster sounds.
I really appreciate
You could do some voice acting. I feel like the
it.
role playing with yourself. I'm like super impressed.
Role playing with yourself.
I really appreciate the kind words, Dave. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely.
It's something that I have a lot of fun doing, and
Yes.
It shows.
I hope people enjoy it as much.
You were a theater geek, weren't you?
I was not, sir. I was a music major. I wanted to be a high school marching band director for the rest of my life, and that didn't. It was awful.
It didn't pan out.
Couldn't pan
Don't
out.
do that.
And now you're doing role playing games.
Now I'm doing role playing games, and I'm a self.
The natural progression. There you go. Well, you heard it here,
Natural
my friends.
progression.
If you want to be a marching band director, then in a couple of years' time, you'll be Cody Lewis. So, my friends, we're going to end. It's a little bit early, but we ended at a perfect point there. And like I say, PRUITT isn't feeling too good, so we wish him the best. I'm sure he'll feel better in a little bit. But yes, we're going to end there. Thank you guys for watching. That was an awesome show. Great job, Cody. That was hectic fun as always, despite the technical difficulties that we experienced. The rum really helped out with that. You know, next week, I'm going to get a preparatory rum.
Just start with the rum. Start with it.
Start with rum and coast it out, and I'll be like,
I'm gonna just share the map with you, buddy, and be like, go ahead and load up a couple shots.
So, I got them like lined up on the desk, like 1 per hour. You know? It's amazing. Thank you, my friends, for watching us. See us again same time next week for episode 9 of season 3. Is it season 3?
This is still season 3, and of course, we want to thank our sponsors. So, yes, we had some hiccups tonight with technical difficulties, but I think some of that was user error as well. And so we want to thank Fantasy Grounds, a virtual tabletop of choice, and Dungeon Painter Studio. We will do what we can to get this map up and running for next week, guys. But big shout out to our sponsors. They've been a big part of the show since day 1, and we really, really, really appreciate that. So thank you to those guys for sponsoring the show, making it possible.
Yeah, Dungeon Painter Studio, Fantasy Grounds. They are the place to go. Do we have anything we want to talk about before we want to jump out here from you guys? Obviously, you got to stay nerdy. Getting that one.
Gotta stay nerdy. We'll be doing something special Monday with our Monday video.
That sounds scandalous, and I like the sound.
Scandalous.
It is a little something different going on.
Great stuff. All right. Beautiful. Cody, you got anything other than your Mistwalker?
No, the Mistwalker's out and available, and it's pay what you want. So please don't pay just nothing. I looked. I think we've already hit copper, which is cool. In the first few hours, we hit copper almost immediately, and so I think we've had somewhere in the ballpark of like before we started tonight, we had like 800 downloads already, and so for the 4 people that contributed a few bucks, I really appreciate it. No, but seriously, go download the Mistwalker. Let us know what you think. And also,
where can they download that at?
It's on DriveThruRPG, but you can find a link to that if you just go to my YouTube and pull up the latest video. Ben, buddy. If you go to my latest YouTube video and pull up the video, there'll be the whole video is about it. So there'll be a link there, and it'll take you right to the page. And yeah, guys, go check it out. It's a full class. It has 3 archetypes: Conviction of the Mind, Conviction of the Blade, and Conviction of the Shroud. And we think it's really special, man. We spent a lot of time playtesting it. Thank you, Will Jones. And so we spent a lot of time testing its capabilities. And, we think it's pretty dope. We think it's really cool. So go check it out.
Absolutely.
Niche shots are their weakness.
Yeah. So Kayleen went down so hard and so fast, so many times. It was pretty awful.
Good stuff. Oh, and Fury Monday, right?
Yes. Fury is off Monday.
Off Monday. Okay.
Yeah, they're off Monday, and so enjoy Cinco de Mayo and National Star Wars Day. Go play some Fantasy Flight games or Galaxies or the Old Republic.
Yeah,
or...
go play Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Go watch a bunch of Harry Potter movies on Friday.
That's what I'll be doing.
Oh yeah, Friday's our 4-year anniversary.
Is it really?
Wow.
For when we incorporate it, yeah.
Well, now we're just making shit up. The Kentucky Derby is. You didn't hear that. The Kentucky Derby is on Saturday. Cinco de Mayo is on Saturday. So go have a good time.
We should have been on more often.
Oh.
Funny story real quick. My wife and I were riding in the car with Ben, and he must have been 3 at the time. And my wife said SOB. You know, she was talking something, that SOB. And Ben from the back seat goes, "Mommy, we don't say that." And I go, "Yeah, we don't say that, Mommy. We don't say that word." And without missing a beat, my son goes, "That's a daddy word."
There you go.
Thanks, bud.
There you go.
Traitor. Traitor.
Oh man.
Y'all have a wonderful night, guys. Thank you
Thanks,
so much
guys.
for joining
Awesome.
us.
Thank you,
Good night.
guys.
Catch you guys soon. Good night.
Stay
Bye-bye.
nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Hey, I said that like 5 minutes ago, guys. Get out of here. Good night, everyone.